I don't know who they're going to get to cover Tariq Cohen because he actually was one of the few running backs that averaged 10 yards a catch. By the way, everybody,
I disagree with you.
Hey, Woo, I know you're listening. Cole Beasley had, I think, 3 more receptions than Todd Gurley and still averaged less yards per catch than Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley averaged like 9.8. He literally was 1 catch off from averaging 10 yards a catch.
Bro, you like Cole Beasley. Shut the fuck up.
I hate Cole Beasley.
Yeah,
I like the fact that he can rap.
Yeah.
I don't like him as a receiver. I don't like him as a receiver.
You like him off the field, though,
No,
which is weird for... yeah. Anyways, for small receiver. How about
for
that?
a small SMU receiver. Fam, are you saying I don't like white receivers?
I don't, and
I love Jordy Nelson.
And I'm... Stop. No, you don't. You didn't believe that.
First off, you didn't watch him catch 16 touchdown passes at Kansas State after converting from safety. So shut up, fam. I was on those Kansas State teams.
I haven't watched Kansas State since they had that quarterback.
Colin Klein. You don't even know his name.
Since they had that quarterback that they converted to a running back.
Colin Klein.
Is that what it was?
No. You're thinking it was a black dude.
Yep.
I know who you're talking about. Though. I can't remember his name. I think he made this to the league. Can't remember his name.
And when they had like
Colin Klein.
And every other year when they have fast, long, lengthy defensive ends who end up going in the middle rounds and never being heard from again.
First off, Willis is playing pretty good for the Bengals. They had Arthur Brown, who played middle linebacker, and was Bryce Brown's brother, who went to Miami and then ended up at Tennessee and a bunch of other places.
All right, can I get my Eagles and Bears pick?
Go for it. But yeah.
I'm taking Philly, the defending champs, only because, 1, they have the experience the Bears do not have. 2, they're hot as hell right now with Nick Foles. And 3, honestly, they're not afraid of the cold. And 4, like, seriously, the Eagles could run the table again because if they win, they're probably going to get the soft-ass Rams next week.
Wow.
Yeah, I said it on air. Bruh. I said it. Oh, no, I'm sorry. They'll get the Saints. My bad. The Saints are the 1 seed.
They could beat the Saints. My thing is, actually, yeah, they could beat the Saints definitely.
I don't know about that.
In a dome, they could beat the Saints.
I'll take the Saints over them.
Yeah, actually. See, the problem with the Bears is I know how good their defense can be, and their special teams can shock you, but their quarterback, who's actually pretty good, surprisingly, Mitchell Trubisky, he's hurt.
Not if you repeat.
He got a banged up shoulder. Oh, don't get me started. I know you saw that Pro Football Focus.
Yeah, they had Trubisky ranked as like the 30th.
He was ranked behind some really crappy quarterbacks. But when it comes down to the Bears, I would just pick them because Kendall. I think it's Kyle Fuller. He helped lead the league with 2 other people. He had 7 picks. I mean, they've tightened up their defensive backfield a little bit. And again, you still have to run on that defense. I don't think Philly can run on the Bears defense. Roquan Smith is getting better and better. They have speed in their front 7. Akeem Hicks is terrorizing backfields. Like, they're doing some things. I just can't count out that Chicago defense, and I'm not counting out Khalil Mack because I don't know anybody on that offensive line who could block Khalil Mack. Lane Johnson maybe, but there's
few people in the league who can block Khalil Mack.
I'm like, exactly. How many times has he just taken over games with strip sacks, interceptions? Like, if he gets hot on Nick Foles' trail, Nick Foles is already hurt, you're gonna have Nate Sudfeld in the game.
All right, man. So
shout out to Indiana quarterbacks.
Let's get to one of the topics you're burning on today. Shout out to the Jim Rome.
Okay, but you just appalled Jackie. She's like, "Wow, Pete, soft ass Rams."
Yeah, they're.
And Wu said the Eagles can't stop anybody. He actually is picking the Colts, Cowboys, Bears, and he thinks the Rams are going to upset the Chargers. I can't go that far, but apparently I'm attached to the Rams somehow. I mean the Ravens. Shout out to Brandon and Jordan. I'm just stuck with that moniker that I'm a Ravens fan somehow. But they made the playoffs.
The Rams are downy soft until further notice. Until they get a playoff win.
Oh, they have C.J. Anderson as a backup.
Until they get a playoff win, I am not crowning the Rams anything other than Ice Trader game.
First off, Migos Culture 2 was trash. Can we just be honest?
Yeah, it really
Culture
was.
2 was a trash album, and then you named your daughter after.
And all their solo albums were kind of trash too.
First off, their singles.
Low Key Takeoff had the best solo album.
He did. First off, I said it. He's the best rapper out of all of them.
Yeah, you have been saying that, but you largely.
I said John Wick is the best.
Yeah,
John Wick is the best
rap
song Migos has ever put out.
That's what I was.
Y'all don't even listen to it. You phony asses.
That
shit's my theme music when I wake up.
You literally been defending Takeoff off that one verse.
That's all you need. That's all you need. No. The whole song.
And he finally gave you some more ammunition this
that
year
I didn't even really listen to.
I'm not
I listened to like the first 7 songs, and I was like, "Oh, you already proved you can rap, dog. I don't. It's great that you got a whole album in. Get yours off." He really did.
Hey, shout out to Reason, man. I'm sorry for sleeping on your album.
TDE.
It was actually nice.
Shout out to. Actually, no, I'm not going to shout them out, but some people I know who have been on him for a while. Another podcast.
All right, man. So next up, a topic you're been burning on. Really, since, I don't know, you came out the womb hating Big Ben. But yeah. Yeah, man, that whole Steelers, Mike Tomlin, Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown saga. I mean, Antonio Brown's pretty much been going off on social media, asking for a trade. Tomlin, you go ahead and break it down, KB, since you know it a lot better and can probably do it more entertaining than I can.
Hold on. I just saw something on Twitter that triggered me a little bit. Damn it. What was the question again?
Break down the whole Steelers situation.
All right. So pretty much it came out reports Antonio Brown's knee wasn't really hurt. He had a huge fight with Big Ben at practice and threw a ball at him and left and didn't communicate with Mike Tomlin.
He went Brandon Marshall.
He punted the ball. No, Brandon Marshall punted the ball. He threw it at Ben. Everybody got hot about it. Other players from other teams like Jarvis Landry and George Kittle from the San Francisco 49ers were like pretty much Kittle tweeted, "What's good, AB?" And Landry pretty much was subtweeting AB, Le'Veon Bell, and Odell Beckham Jr. That'd be horrifying though if Odell Beckham Jr. ended up on the Browns. They're going deep in the playoffs. Like one of them is catching a bunch of passes. You ain't stopping both. But anyway, back to AB. So that's why he didn't play in the game, because he purposely just didn't maintain communication with Mike Tomlin up until it was too late. Drew Rosenhaus said he could play. They were like, you can get your knee checked out at the facility, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, well, what can he do? So he pretty much just ended up him being on him being at the game with a big ass coat on, not playing. They had to, I guess, adjust all their stuff at their game plan and everything at the last second. And so because of that, a lot of things have manifested. Big Ben came out pretty much said the whole Le'Veon thing was a distraction. That's what kind of like broke.
Nah, the Raiders whooped their ass and derailed their whole season. That's pretty much what it is.
It's like when somebody like who is also in dysfunction comes across and just says, and you act like you're not dysfunction, and they pretty much read you your whole life. That's what happened. They peeled back the layers of who they are. If I haven't said this before, oh, fuck Josh Norman. Anyway, sorry, Mom. But yeah. Anyway, with the Steelers situation, some people, it was reports that came out that said it was actually probably a good thing that they didn't make the playoffs, because now changes has to be made in this organization. You're not getting back Le'Veon Bell, and you pretty much have to trade Antonio Brown, because him and James Harrison, who has been a known basher of Mike Tomlin, were like on Twitter or whatever saying, they're going to do an Instagram live interview and everybody's patiently waiting on that the same way they're waiting on a Dr. Dre album. That doesn't have to be mentioned. We all know which one it is. The same way, we're waiting on people like Les Movies and other people who protect.
So where's AB gonna land?
Honestly,
is Le'Veon done?
No. There's more. There is more. Now, players are constantly subtweeting, saying, y'all woke, like Jarvis Landry's doing some campaigning. And when it comes to Antonio Brown, it's like the narrative keeps getting painted that he's a headache, he's a problem. But first off, you got to remember the dude was homeless. And for someone who was homeless for a bit, let me just tell you, it builds a different layer of toughness in your brain. Like, it's just different. I wouldn't wish it on anyone, but when you survive conditions like that, it changes you. It builds an extreme confidence in you, but also there's that fire too. And sometimes that fire burns a little bit too bright. But I'll get to that later. But pretty much the fact that he was a 6th-round pick and he worked his way, and people are saying he may have quit on the team. First off, he had over 100 catches, 1,200 yards, 15 touchdowns. If you call that shit quitting, ship him to Oakland right now. If that's quitting, bro, I'll take that. You can quit after that. I'll take it. He didn't even play the last game. But the thing is, Big Ben started keying in on Juju Smith-Schuster more, and I get why AP would be mad because, honestly, he's a better player than Juju Smith-Schuster. But I would take Juju Smith-Schuster because he's younger and less of a headache, and I saw him kill cornerbacks in college. Like, this dude stiff-armed and crack back people into oblivion. I'm pretty sure he hit somebody so hard their draft stock exploded. He made Utah cornerbacks his bitch. That's all I can say. Just go back and watch USC versus Utah when Juju Smith-Schuster was playing, and he stiff-armed guys. He embarrassed people. He embarrassed human beings. For a guy who only runs like a 4.52 or 4.54. Shout out to Juju Smith-Schuster. Does great things for the community too, and he's only like 20. Insane. He was actually voted the Steelers team MVP and was also voted Polynesian Athlete of the Year. So, kudos to him. There's layers to this. Ryan Clark. By the way, Antonio Brown was on that new game show where they have people in masks and they sing songs, and he was singing My Prerogative. So, yeah, it was crazy. It was on Fox. So, with that, you have Ryan Clark coming out saying pretty much, I think he was talking about like something in 2011, 2012. They were like, and this is when the receiver before him they were deciding.
Mike Wallace?
Yeah.
Emmanuel Sanders?
Yeah, Mike Wallace. They were deciding, we're about to pay Antonio Brown. They said, watch how that dude reacts when you give him money. Ryan Clark pretty much called him a selfish player who only cares about his stats and his catches. And he talked about a specific game against the Saints where I think he had like 12 catches, 169 yards. No,
Listen,
14
man.
catches, 169 yards.
I'm going to stop you. I'm going to let you finish. I'm going to let you finish, but let me just get this shit off real quick.
Okay, go for it.
As you know, as the listeners know, you and I both have our own smoke with football players who are currently at established media organizations. Specifically,
like a 2-minute rant. I gotta respond to some shit.
Specifically, I'm talking about Ryan Clark. Like, honestly, I'm so over Ryan Clark. Like, him and Damian Woody and Rodney Harrison, safeties who couldn't play in this modern era, should really stop. Well, I don't know. Try snitching, first of all. Second of all, should actually get some real insight instead of trying to be all
that's real
funny.
insight. He was on the team and a team captain at one point.
I'm just talking about overall his breakdown. Just overall his breakdown.
Saying it's a one-sided breakdown?
I'm talking about just overall his analysis is very showman, and he's really not that good, is what I'm saying. He be on whatever show he's on, NFL Countdown, I think.
Yeah.
Fucking doing dumbass shit instead of actually